Hey everybody, it's CBSO and I'm coming back to you with another tarot video. So in this video, I want to make sure that you watch the intro video. The intro video I made discusses basically the energy that's going to be surrounding us for the next couple of weeks. Since we are in Mercury Retrograde, you want to make sure that you check that out. So if you haven't already seen that, go ahead and go watch that. So basically, since we are in Mercury Retrograde, a lot of the things that we're going to be doing is reflecting. So healing is a collective word for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year 2020. Healing, okay? We're going to be healing ourselves first and foremost. We're going to be healing our family, our friendships, our relationships. We're going to be healing the fucking political system, all that. Our communities. We're really focused on making sure that we don't make the same mistakes that we have been making in the past. So as we're healing ourselves, that is basically how we heal the collective, and that's how we heal the community as well. Each sign does get its own song, but I did pick a collective song. And by the way, if you hear the fireworks, I'm sorry. They've been doing fireworks literally for weeks now. Like, I don't even know how they still have some more. But anyway, so the collective song I got is Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson, which I'm pretty sure most of you guys have already heard that. But if you haven't, go listen to it. And basically, you do want to make sure, since you are doing a lot of healing and since you are doing a lot of inner reflection, that you're not being too hard on yourself. Like, when I'm thinking of the energies right now, it's a little bit bipolar in a sense, because we're really working on healing ourselves, but then in the same sense, it's kind of like, stop hitting yourself. Meaning that when we do start to go into ourselves and we do start to reflect, that we're not being too harsh on ourselves. Intuition is going to be at an all-time high, especially in your dreams. So if you haven't already, you want to start a dream journal. And just a little bit of a reminder, not everything needs to be said, not everything needs to be seen, not everything needs to be heard. Get into nature. Ground yourself. Put your feet on some grass or some beach. Definitely want to make sure that you're easing up on yourself as well as easing up on others around you. If you're not going to be too harsh on yourself, don't be too harsh on, your friends and your family or strangers that you meet in the street. And we're using our discernment in full action. This is definitely a time for discernment, okay? So while you're trusting your intuition, make sure that you are also using logic and not just emotion, because a lot of us are going to be super emotional at this time, which is definitely understandable because, like I said, there's so much going on. But since it is so much going on, if everything you do and say is based on emotion, you're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to drive everybody around you crazy. So just use your discernment. Try to judge things from an objective viewpoint. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get right into the reading. Leo. Hey Leo, how's it going? I hope everything is really good. Alright, so I know it's definitely been a while since we talked, but I really want to know what you guys are up to. So go ahead and comment down below how this energy has been treating you. Is Mercury Retrograde affecting you at all? I know it's affecting me. I can barely even speak. So when I was tapping into your energy, the song I got for you was Bad and Boujee by the Migos, okay? Bad and Boujee.
It's bad and Boujee, bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas is savage, ruthless. We got 30s and 100 round
like
my bitch is bad and Boujee.
You've been wanting to be pampered, regardless of if you're a man or woman. I feel like you want somebody to fix you a plate, okay? You're like, okay, go ahead and go get me that plate. Go ahead and schedule that date. Go ahead and, bring me some. Finish the sentence. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel like that's the energy you're in right now. You're definitely in this, like, I'm the prize energy. Or maybe, you want somebody that's bad and bougie, or you might be looking at really expensive things right now. That's what I'm getting. Like, you're trying to live a higher life. Like, trying to get some money together. Like, you're trying to get them racks. That's already tapping into your energy. Alright, so let's see what's been in your recent past. Okay, so you got the Two of Swords. Okay, so for recent past, I got the Two of Swords, the Emperor card, and the Nine of Swords, as well as the Judgment card. So I feel like in the recent past, you definitely had to make a big decision. I feel like the masculine energy might have been struggling a little bit. So regardless of if you're a man or a woman, everybody has masculine and feminine energy in them. So either the masculine energy within you has been struggling, or your divine counterpart has been struggling with their masculine side. Pentacles, so I got the Fool in reverse and the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 and the 9 of Cups. I don't know, I feel like recently you had to make a really big decision, and whatever decision that was definitely like a big life-altering decision, because with the Judgment card here, that talks all about the ultimate judgment, basically like the calling. Maybe you've been having a little bit of anxiety finding your ultimate calling in the past, or it was hard for you to decide exactly what you wanted to focus on, or maybe who you wanted to focus on. And maybe as far as you may have been a little bit bossy, or been a little bit strict, or maybe people have been seeing you as a little bit standoffish in the recent past. Coming into the present, you've definitely been a little bit more light. I think that people have been looking at you more. I don't know, I feel like recently in the past you definitely had some anxiety. Maybe you had to back up from a situation, or you kind of had to make a judgment where you might have to end something, or maybe you have thought about ending something, or maybe somebody had thought about ending it with you. Regardless, I think that the energy was definitely bringing in a lot of tension, and it really didn't feel like it was going anywhere. With the Fool in reverse, the 10 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups, I definitely feel as though you have been a lot more free in your energy, and when you, not only that, but you've been a lot more approachable, and people can see the success on you. The 10 of Pentacles talks all about ultimate success, ultimate happiness. So recently you might have come into a lot of money, or if not, you might be coming into a lot of money, or maybe so you may have been getting a little bit more income, maybe from a side gig, or your main gig had given you a raise, or maybe you raise your prices if you're an entrepreneur. Either way, I definitely feel like you've been a lot more satisfied in the decision that you have been making of late. I don't even think this is just financial. I feel like this is a mental clarity. I don't feel like this satisfaction is just physical. I feel like this is a mental satisfaction. Like you were really, really a lot more happier than you've been in a long time. And I feel like the quarantine actually might have been bringing you a little bit of peace. And like I said earlier, with the bad and Boujee, you've been coming into your money. Maybe you've been spending a lot of money. So I definitely want to warn you about that. You want to make sure that you're making good decisions at this time. Okay, yes. You want to make sure that you're making good decisions at this time, because you have been feeling really good, and since you have been feeling on top of it, and maybe you've been making a little money, or maybe your body has been getting a little bit more fit, or you've been seeing people have been seeing you more, or people have been definitely pouring more into you, or giving you money, or kind of wanting to take care of you or pamper you. You definitely just want to be a little bit cautious with that, because you don't want to either get too comfortable, or you don't want somebody else to get too complacent with that. With the future influence, you have the 2 of Pentacles, the Death card, and the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. With that being said, you definitely don't want to get too comfortable. I think you definitely want to be mindful of your spending, okay? You might have been doing a lot of self-care. You might have been just like throwing it in the bag and just not even checking the price tag. When you're making a decision, you're like, why don't we just get both? So I really want to make sure that even though you are coming into a more abundant mindset, that you don't get ahead of yourself, okay? Because with the Death card here, that's letting you know that things can definitely change in the snap of a finger. I feel like there is a big change though. It's like an ultimate change. I think it's going to be the death of a lack mindset. That's what I feel like it is. I feel like you're leaving a lack mindset. In the past, you may have always felt like things is not enough. Like my relationship isn't enough. My friends aren't doing enough. My family isn't doing enough. I'm not doing enough. That's the mindset that you're leaving. You might have been feeling like you didn't either have enough income in the past, or even if you did, you felt like it wasn't enough for your liking. You're leaving that mindset and you're going into a new mindset of abundance. Okay, let's get some advice. You got the 10 of Wands. So, with that being said, that is responsibility. So that's what I was saying earlier. if you are going to be bad and bougie, if you are going to be spending all this money, you got to know that your responsibilities are going to come back to you. So if you're spending money and you're swiping that credit card, you're still going to have to pay, okay? It's not free money. And if you do decide to get in a relationship, it's not just always going to be easy sailing. You are going to have moments in time where you feel like you're carrying all the weight. Either way, okay, let's get one more card for the advice. Okay, so with the advice card here, I got the 10 of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So with that being said, you definitely want to make sure that you are dealing with your responsibilities head on. You really want to consider either getting a journal or getting a schedule. You have a lot coming on, so maybe you might be getting seen a lot more. Or so let's say for example you did go ahead and get that raise at your job. Yes, you are going to be making a lot more money, but at the same time then you're going to have a lot more responsibilities. Or let's say you were able to, you know, find the perfect relationship. Regardless, all because a relationship or all because you find something that makes you happy does not mean that they're going to, that it's not the end all be all. Maintenance is a forever thing. Extension is a forever thing. Like, just know that since you are, you know, leveling up, and since you are kind of being in a more abundant mindset, it's going to be a lot more responsibilities. So you want to make sure that you're not neglecting your self-care. I feel like you really want to use this month of July to focus on self-care. Take time to do, you know, a salt bath or a spiritual bath. Take time to manage your responsibilities in a calendar or in a notebook. Make sure that you're not being overwhelmed with your spending habits as well as your time management. My advice to you that self-care and ascension is not a one-way road. Like, it is okay to be overwhelmed. It is okay to feel like you have a lot on your plate. But with that being said, you really want to be able to take a step back and make sure that since you are ascending, you're not over exhausting yourself. You really want to take it slow. Since we are in Mercury Retrograde, things can go left and they can go left fast. So don't be afraid to take a step back. Don't be afraid to take some time for yourself. Don't be afraid to take some of the weight and put it on somebody else. Balance out your work time with your play time, and don't be too focused on work. And also be mindful of your self-talk and your self-care. Make sure that you're not being too hard on yourself. My advice to you is to do self-care Sundays every Sunday of July if you have not already. I think self-care is definitely going to be important coming into this next coming month, especially since we are going to be in Mercury Retrograde. So just make sure that whatever you do, since you are going through an extension and since you are going through probably one of the biggest transformations that you have been going through, the responsibility is not so heavy that you feel completely drained all the time. Make sure that you're constantly reloading your energy, okay? Spiritual awakening and ascension and, you know, leveling up or bossing up is not a one-way street. If you take 5 steps forward and maybe you have to take a step back, that is completely okay. Don't be afraid to spoil yourself. Don't be afraid to spoil other people. And also, don't be afraid to take a step back and kind of just relax. That is my advice to you, Leo. Relax, okay? Okay, so my overall advice to you is if you have a big bag of money, but it's so heavy that you can't even walk, it is okay to drop some of them coins, okay? It is okay to drop some of that weight. Drop the dead weight. That is my advice to you, Leo. Drop the dead weight. Pamper yourself and let other people pamper you. Use this time to let go of your inhibitions and let go of anything currently holding you down, weighing you down, draining your energy, tying you down. Anything that is making you feel incomplete, let it go, okay? Alright, well that is it, Leo. Thank you guys for watching.
Baby, I look so good. I just want to touch you. I just want to feel you.